Okay, the beauty is that we can debug. So let's right click on the inspect and go to our console. Let's see all the errors that we're getting. So here it says unexpected syntax error, got this expression. Now the problem is this is coming from jQuery, so unquote reference dollar is not defined, so which means jQuery just didn't work. Now why would that be? Okay, so the first thing you should do is to make sure all the files that you have loaded are loading properly. So I'm going to right click and say view page source. Okay, so let's go to the page source, and I want to look at all the files that I've included in here, the jQuery and the where did I include them? Right about here. So I want to make sure that these are valid files. So if I click on them, you see it shows me 404 page not found. It brings me the HTML instead of the actual file. So which means that file, sorry, I closed that by mistake. So which means that file is not being loaded properly. But what about summer note? Let me click on that. Same thing over here. How about this other one? Practically same thing. So these guys are not loaded properly. So let's look at the path and make sure it's correct. So the path up to the plugins folder is fine, and then basic pages, yeah, but then it doesn't go to assets, blah blah blah. Okay, good. I see where the issue is. This one goes basic pages and then slash summer.dist slash summer.main.js. This should actually work, right? To the light. What is going on? Okay, at least I know this one I have messed up. So let me put the assets folder, because that's where it is, slash js slash, like that. So let's see if that solves the problem at all. So I'm gonna refresh. Let's see if any problems were solved. Nothing. Let's look at the page source again. Let's go down here and let's see. Now if I click on jQuery, you see it actually loads the file. Cool. That's how you know that you've loaded the file this time. Let me see what complaints it has when I inspect and go to the console. So what errors do we have? We still have these errors, but no longer in jQuery. These are inside SummerNote now. Okay, so maybe a similar issue. We are just unable to load, because if I go back and click on SummerNote, I get HTML instead of the file. So which means those files, two files, are not loaded properly. So something is wrong. So let's go through the path. So issues like this are always just about the path being wrong. So jQuery worked, that's good. But what about these guys? Sometimes it's the file name. So let me go, the SummerNote, let me just make sure that's correct. Okay, sometimes what you do is just rename, pretend to rename, copy like that, and escape from there so you don't actually rename. And then let's wait, was that the CSS or the JS? I can't even tell. And paste. So there's a missing, it's a dash here, so that's what I was missing. Sorry about that, guys. So let's go back and try this again. So I'm gonna refresh this time, and looky there, look what we've got. We have a now page content in rich text format. Let's see if I type hello there, right, and then I select and put bold. Let's try an H1. Oh, looky there. This way now we can actually design our pages better. So let's try this. Let's give it a test, right? So what I'm gonna do is, you see this about us page where we have this text. If we refresh, that's how it looks like. But let me edit this. Oh, the edit doesn't have this. Okay, so no to worry, we just need to copy this content into the edit page. So I'm gonna copy this part, this whole part here, copy. let's go to the edit page. So that's the edit.php, and let's paste down here after everything, after the last script here, paste goody. So let me just tab this in like so. But let's not forget that this is referencing the SummerNode class, so we have to put it there. So let's go back to find the text area. There it is. So inside the class, let's put one more class in this space. There we go. So with this, we should have, aha, looky there now. Pretty cool. Now what I want to do is right after the lorem ipsum, I want to put that in the space there, and then put a header like that. Interesting. And then let's go down here, some more of this. This one, I just want this to be maybe h4. Oops, looks like the whole thing is now h4. Not what I wanted. Okay, maybe let me move this down, and let's remove that h4 from there. Normal, yeah. Why isn't this working? Normal. Okay, there it is. It's working. Then let's put something in a quote somewhere. Let me move this down here. Blah blah blah. Let's put this as a quote. Select and the quote. Okay, doesn't seem to have changed anything. Maybe as code. Let's try that. You know, we're just trying stuff out. So now let's save this. Okay, save. Yay. Now if I go back here and refresh, look what we get. We don't get the new stuff. Instead we get the proper HTML with these thingies here showing up. Not really what we wanted now, right? So let me go back and let's change something. So in the page view, for example, this is the view in the admin. Let's go to the view in the front end. So this is the views folder, front end view. What we need to remove is the actually we don't need any of this. We don't even need the escape. We need nothing here. We just need it to echo out this content here. Now this can be a little bit dangerous. It depends on your website, right? In this case, if you are the admin of the website and you'll be the one creating all pages, this is not a problem. But if you give this to users on the internet, look at that. Just by removing that, and everything now is HTML. See, it's being interpreted as proper HTML. Now the downside to this is somebody can hack your system like this. Now this can only happen if you're not the only person that will be creating pages, if you're allowing users, if not only admins will be creating pages, right? If you're allowing for pages, maybe not so much, but if you're allowing people to put posts, that could be a problem. So let's look at how we can try and fix that. So if I click edit here, this is what I get, right? Now I want to show you that you can actually have a problem here, and this is how you can be hacked. Just by putting a script tag in here like so. I can say script, and then what do I do here? Script, and say alert, and then close the script tag like so. So this is dangerous right here. If I say you've been hacked like that, right? Just by saving this. Now, somebody would not just type you've been hacked. They'll actually put a script tag and put actual JavaScript, and so they can make AJAX requests to your database, check out what kind of database you want. They can pretty much, at this point, if they can write a script like this, they have admin access to your system, because just by writing an AJAX request, they can test your database, you know, get information about your database, what tables you have, what file, because a website essentially is just database manipulation. That's all it does. So if somebody can manipulate your database, then they have complete control of your website essentially. So if I save this, you will see the major flaw of this issue. Every time I try to view the page here, looky there, it actually works. It sanitized that. Wow, I didn't know that. Very interesting indeed. So I guess we don't have to worry about that. You know, we used to have to worry about this. So maybe someone had fixed that, right? Let's see. Let me go to the view page of this one. Oh, this one isn't fixed yet. So let's go to the view in the admin and remove these as well. So there we go. So apparently that was fixed, which is pretty cool. There we go. Now, in order for me to understand what's going on, so this thing saves HTML. So let me go to my database here. Let me just make sure that things are good and not just pretending. So let's see, it's the About Us. Let me click on Edit for this. I want to see exactly what's being saved here. So, okay. So it uses HTML entities. Yeah, so you see, instead of saving the script tag the way these tags are saved, the script tag is saved like this. They use this alt comma to represent the angle brackets here, and then these are converted back by the browser. Okay, cool. So apparently we are good with script tags this time. Now let me just try one more thing. You know, let's go back here. We are not off the hook yet. Let me go to Edit. Right now, now we have a problem. You see here, my script tag didn't show at all, because if I refresh the page, it's not showing. So which means it's being read as a special text, which means it's a script tag. Now, if you click here, there's code view, and you can actually view what's in the code. And as you can see, it shows up as actual script tags, which is a major problem. So someone can write a script and save it as a post, and then when you as the admin load the page, it's going to run that script, and that's not good. So we need a way to fix this. So we're going to make a function that will fix this, but a little bit later. So let me delete that from the code, because a user can use the code view like this to do things. In case you don't want to use this, you can just click and type the HTML directly there like so. But anyway, for now we have summer note. Let's just do one more thing here before we go. If I click on add, you see the summer note height is very minimal. So I want to fix that. So as always, go back to the documentation, because these are the people that created this thing, and so they should know how to solve these problems. So as you can see here on instantiation, you can actually put placeholder text if you want, and then you put the tab size here, and then you can put a height as well. So let's copy some of this stuff and try to use it. So let's go over here. Boom. Where am I? Oh, this is the view. Okay, so I want the add and the edit. So let me go to the add here. So right here where we have this initialization, let me see again the syntax. So it's inside the summer note. There's an object in there. Okay, cool. So we put an object in here like so, and then paste the stuff. Okay, cool. So we say yo page content as the placeholder text. That's how you put options. So let me go back and let's refresh. So at least the height here should move at minimum. Your page content. Cool. So 400 doesn't seem like much. So it's 100 actually. So let me put 400 here. For some reason I had 400 in mind. And there we go. We have a bigger view page. Now this can always move up and down, no pressure. But just as a starter, it should at least have those. So let me copy this very thing to my edit version as well. So let's go edit, and down here, let me paste here. Wait a second. Document ready? Oh, yes. Paste. Okay. Let's just tab in like so. Cool. So everything seems actually fine here, except for that script thingy that can allow us, that vulnerability that can allow us to get hacked. But actually, no, things are not good, because let's try to add an image and see what happens. If I click on browse here, and then I add this image, everything seems normal. You see, I can add this image and reduce its size, maybe 25%, something like this, and then type some text in here. Right? So I can begin to actually design this as an HTML page very, very well. Now, the problem is, now if I go to code view here, look what we have here. All this code. Where is all this code coming from? Now, the reason we have all this code is because the image has been changed into an actual blob, which means this is actual data that represents the image itself. So the entire image is part of this. Okay, that way it can show like this. And if I save this, actually, it would save just fine. Let me go back a second here. Let's go back to the About Us, and let me click Edit. So if at any moment at the end here, I put, or maybe in the middle here, I put an image. So let me try that. Let's browse here, and let me put an image. Yeah, and let's go 25%. So there's an image in there, and let me hit save. And everything seems to have worked out pretty well, because if I go and refresh, you'll see there's an image over there, which is cool. No, not so cool, because let's go to the database and see what has happened here. So if I click browse, there is this content area over here, and if I click edit to see this file, what I'll discover is that the entire image is now in my database, because everything here, this gibberish you see over here, is the image itself, and this is a lot of data. Look at that, look at that. The entire image is saved in there. We don't want that kind of data in our database. Never save images in your database, ever, or blobs, unless it's really necessary. It's always better to save them as files, and then in the database you just put a link to those actual files. Let the file system handle files and not the database. That way your database will always be lightning fast when you are doing things. Otherwise, like this, you end up with a clogged system. It may work well when your website you're testing and everything is just small, but once you get big numbers of users, that will quickly become a problem. So let me delete that and save this again. That way we don't have that data in the database anymore. Because if someone, let's say, uploads if they really wanted to attack your system, somebody can put a script to just upload 10 megabyte images every second to your website. And you know what will happen then? Your database will become really huge in a very short period of, within 10 minutes, you have a pretty big database, which will make it impossible for anyone trying to access your database at some point when it becomes too big. Even you have trouble fixing that because the database itself will become extremely slow. So you should avoid such things. We should always save images on the file. So we're going to do that in the next video. I'll see you then, guys.